That's right. That 1 inch of rain that we were supposed to get yesterday came in as about 4 inches of slushy snow. So that's gonna make it a little tough today, but we're gonna go try. Right, honey? We're gonna try find some antlers? All right, well, I wanted to do a little bit of an intro here, just to cover a couple things. First of all, I wanted to thank everybody that liked that last video. The experiment definitely worked and showed me that I was correct in a couple of things. So the purpose was to see how far that got the video out there, as opposed to ones that have fewer likes, and it was effective. It generated more subscribers. Welcome everybody new. Thanks for subscribing. Generated more subscribers than any other video I've done. And although I thought I found a couple cool antlers in that one, it was not not my best video, but by far the most successful as far as quickly getting views and generating new subscribers. So I want to thank you for indulging me in that. It was definitely successful. It taught me, the way to get the channel to grow is produce videos that people want to thumbs up. So we're going to go out and try to find a spot that doesn't have so much snow on the ground that we can't find a deer shed. I think I've decided on a name change, and I'm going to announce it right here, because probably by the time I download this video, I will have made the name change. I think I'm going to do, it was a hard process because I'm trying to find, one, something that's not being used already, and two, something that represents the channel but without limiting me. My channel is mostly shed hunting, but not entirely shed hunting, so I didn't want to be something, just sheds only. And a lot of the better stuff is taken, even though some of the ones that I came up with only have people that use that name only have 3 subscribers in one video or something like that. But I still didn't want to steal step on anybody else's toes. But we kind of brainstormed, a few people and I, and one that I thought would represent the channel well, give it a name that was searchable besides just my name, and I'll go into that just real quick. But I think we're going to do Antler Recovery, because that covers sheds. I'm out there. Not Antler Recovery, that was one of them. Antler Rescue, because that's what I'm doing. I'm out here rescuing these antlers from rotting on the ground, but that could cover hunting and other things. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. And if you don't look at my channel and see that name change has been added, then I decided not to. But the interesting thing is, when I was looking at my channel analytics, what did people search to find my videos? Everything in there was low single digits, meaning if somebody typed in shed hunting, only 3% of the people that found my videos typed that in to find it. By far, nearly 40% of the people that found my channel typed in Ricky Arthur, which is pretty cool because they're finding it simply by my name. They're either hearing my name or somebody's recommending the channel by name, and I think that's cool. But I think this will open it up. Sorry. What this experiment has taught me is 2 things. There are several things that will limit the ability, and some of you might be interested in this. There are several things that will limit the scope of your videos getting out there. One, YouTube is not going to promote your videos if your channel is not monetized. They're not going to make any money off of you, so they're just simply not going to be as likely to include your video in the search results when somebody is searching. They're going to have to search specific things to find you. So that being what it is, I made that change, and that immediately I could see that my videos were getting broadcast wider. But by far, even more than that, was that experiment we did where everybody liked the video. That video definitely got out there, got views quickly, got subscribers quickly. So anyway, that was interesting to find out. Hoping to have a good day and obviously find some antlers. And I was hoping that by the time I got down into this area, I would be in less snow, but I'm not. So we'll see how that fares for the day. Let's see here. I think... Alright, you guys are not helping this. I think... Let's just do this. And, yep. See that little teeny tip? Little stemmed point would be a Dolores point. You could just see that tip like that. But that was enough to, when your eyes keyed into it. We'll lay that guy right there. Give it a place of honor. A little bit of a mound right here that clearly has signs of being dug or looted, however you want to call it. I'll show you. This is a dig pit right here. Dig pit right here. Dig pit right here. Now, most of these guys that dug these were very knowledgeable about how these sites were laid out. So they're looking for burials and they're looking for pots. And because they were effective at that, a lot of the trash that gets thrown up here into these dig piles is stuff that was in burials. And so you'll find beads, you'll find pendants, and arrowheads. Now this is the trash pile of the ruin that's up here just a little ways. And it's also the burial. So you might ask, wait a minute, why is it the trash pile and the burial? Well, they would bury their dead in the trash pile. And it's always on the south side to southeast side of the ruin. And if you think about that, the reason why it is on the south side, I'm looking for a bead here in this ant pile. The reason why it's on the south side and the reason why they buried in them, is you can tell even now that this soil is darker, and on a lot of these ruins it's considerably darker. It's very black dirt. There would have been a lot of organic matter thrown out into these areas that would give it, the ashes from their fires, food, scraps, things like that, that would have been thrown out here. Because of that, the soil was a darker color. Because it was on the south side, it had the least amount of snow and stayed and thawed quickest, and the snow melted earliest in those spots. The vegetated matter would heat the ground a little bit and make that even better. Probably, most likely, most of the people died in the winter, or at least you would see an uptick of deaths in the winter, because winters are hard, especially when you're living out here without your central heat or anything like that. So you would have a lot of your deaths in the wintertime. And how do you bury them in frozen ground? Well, right outside your house is some dark dirt on the south side that's probably thawed, and you can keep your loved ones close to home and bury them. And that's why they think that most of the burials are in what we call the trash piles, the midden. Because it was a place they could dig, most of the year. Thought maybe I'd turn up another arrowhead across this. This is a pretty good trash pile here. You can see, you're probably seeing all the pottery shards and everything based on that arrowhead that I found. And this is gray ware. Let me look again here, see if I can find the arrowhead. Dolores point would have, 8 to 1200 years old, something like that. But I'm not seeing pottery to corroborate me on that. And it might just be that this one has mostly, there we go. So there's a little bit of pottery with some paint on it, the painted pottery. And there's enough there to tell me that, yeah, I'm looking at, this is a site that would have been occupied between 700 and 1200 years ago at least. Possibly other time periods. I mean, a good place for a house 500 and 1,000 years ago was a good place for a house 2,000 years ago. And a lot of times you get occupation layer on top of occupation layer. And so you can find different time periods. Most of these, from my experience, were not lived in for long periods of time. There are a few that show evidence of being lived in, and most of them were probably seasonal. This area here probably would have been winter homes. They would have had to follow the animals to a certain extent, and they certainly, I've found signs of dwellings clear up on the very top of the mountain, which would have been summer hunting camps. But down here, they would have had dwellings down here too, because this would have been good for farming. Would have been a good area for farming, and you certainly find signs of that. Let me just zigzag back and forth here just a little bit. And if I see if I turn something up. Let me ask you a question while we're here. I like to have a little bit of discussion. Digging on these burial sites. I'm sure today nobody would agree with digging. Very few people would say that it's okay. It certainly is a culture and a heritage in this area. I know personally people who supported their family for years based on things they could dig on ruins like this and sell. And they were very good at it, very knowledgeable, by far more knowledgeable than any archaeologist that I have talked to. And certainly controversial, digging, specifically digging burials. I was watching, I have all sorts of interests, and I was watching a special on Egypt, mummies and that stuff. And I'm trying to figure out if I think that there's any difference between Joe Blow coming out here with his shovel and digging this stuff up and an actual archaeologist coming out here and digging it up. Now, you could argue that the archaeologist, because he's trained, because he's documenting, because he's trying to learn, would have a slight right or wrong advantage over the Joe Blow that's out here just digging. Especially today where there's not really a market for this stuff like there used to be, at least that I'm aware of. Is that guy more in the wrong than an archaeologist that comes out here and digs these things up? In my mind, it comes down to, let's say, the same thing as abortion. If what is wrong with abortion is that it is a life inside the womb, then there is no scenario where it's okay to take that innocent life. If it's not a life, then there's certainly nothing wrong with doing it. So it comes down to, what do you believe that is? Same thing with digging. If what is morally wrong with Joe Blow coming out here and digging up a site like this so he can selfishly find pots or whatever he's looking for, if it's morally wrong to disturb the dead, and I think all of us would agree that it is, why is it not morally wrong for an archaeologist to do it? Because there's the potential to learn. Maybe. If it was my bones out here, I'm thinking, would I be okay if somebody come out here digging me up and disturbing my remains to try and learn something? I guess it depends. I certainly think that you could do any of this stuff with more or less respect. Then you might, otherwise do it. There certainly would be a way to do it. Very respectful, take care of them, redeposit them, rebury them. And maybe that's okay. But it's kind of a sticky thing. Is it okay to dig them up to try and learn? Is it always wrong to dig them up? Tell me what you think in the comments. I don't want to turn this into too much of that sort of stuff, but I'm curious what you think. Is there a moral difference between Joe Blow coming out here digging this up so he can find a pot because he likes pots or something, And an archaeologist coming out here digging because he likes pots and he wants to try and piece together the puzzles of the past. Tell me what you think, and I'm hoping that we'll get up in here and find us an antler. Starting to look good. Look at this. Starting to look good. And you notice I did find, well, actually when I parked the truck 20 minutes ago, there was a ½ inch of snow on the ground, but this warm breeze that came up in 15-20 minutes, it's gone and no more snow. So we've got a chance in here. Let's see what we can do. That is the way out, I think. I don't see another. Guess we'll see if my pack can even squeeze down through there. Come on. Come on. Come on, Zoe. Come on. Come here. Honey, come on. Chunky, come on. Chunky, come here. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Come on. All right. You guys are going to have to figure it out. Come on, Zoe. Come on. All right, let's see. I'm gonna have to go help him. Come here. Come on. Come on, pup. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Come here. Come here. Zoe, come here. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get your fat butt over that. Come on, Chunky. Come on. Zoe, come on. Well, I've been hiking for several hours now, and I finally see an antler. See how long it takes Honey to find it. See it sticking up there. See what happens if I just don't say anything. Ah, she's got it. She's got it. She's got it. Oh, wind must be blowing this way. Go find it. Find him up. Find him up. Good girl. Honey's first spike. Oh, yeah. There you go. Now you're talking about the big dogs. Oh, yeah. Good girl. Want a treat? Want a treat, huh? Here you go. Here you go. Oh, good girl. How do you suppose she knew that was an antler and not a bone like we've been coming across? Good girl. Good girl. Zoe, can you go get it? You can go get it, huh? Good dog. I think I need to start spending some time with Zoe. Good girl. Good dogs. All right, let's go find some more. Let's go find some more. We're going the wrong way, though. We're supposed to be going from small to big. Go get it. Go get it. Good girl, go get it. Go get it, Zoe. Good girl. Good girl. Bring it here. Bring it here, pup. Come on. Good girl. Good doggy. Good girl. And I see something over here. I'm not sure what it is. It's obviously white chalk. It's either a small elk antler or a giant deer antler or something weird. Here we go. Oh, it's a deer. What the heck? The way it was laying there, it looked like a... Look at that thing. Good girl, honey. Look at that. Good girl. Look at that. Triple brow tine, actually quadruple. 4. One broken off there. How about that for a little something on the way back to the truck? I don't know why, but it looked like an elk antler laying here across there. Let me look real quick for the other side, but that's kind of cool. I'm not very far away from the truck and it's about giving up. Good girl. Oh, that buck looks familiar. I think I found sheds off of him before. Let's see if we can't match this up real quick. Look at that thing. That thing is just a tank. Just a 3, but he's got a broken eye guard there, 2 there, and another one busted off right there. 4 eye guards to make up for the point he's missing. Crazy that he's laid here this close to the road for long enough to get this chalky. I mean, I can see the road out there, and he was right on that ridge line. Big as life. Like I said, I thought he was an elk shed when I first saw it. The way it was laid out, I was like, that looks like a little raghorn elk. Anyway, that's nice. We've hiked all day. Just found that one 3-point, found the spike, and then found this. And I'll take that as well worth the hike. Well worth the hike. So, all right. May have dropped you in the mud. About back to the truck. So I'm going to call that a day. I'm not sure I'm going to get to go out tomorrow. Got some stuff I need to do, so I'll probably put this video out just so everybody gets. I wanted to let everybody know how the experiment went last week and about the name change on the channel. So if I can get out tomorrow, we'll do a little bit more, but if not, then next week my brother Kevin's supposed to come, if he doesn't dog me, for the 3rd week, and we're hoping that the weather be a little bit better and we can get in on some elk sheds. I might try to get into that ruin that I showed you guys a couple weeks ago. If we can get into that country, if the snow melts, then I might try to do that. That would be cool. That's definitely a ruin that not many people would have seen. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy it. See if we can't find some more antlers in the next one. But until then, if you'll hit that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't. We'll keep finding sheds. It's just going to get better now. The next week or two, there'll even be some browns hitting the ground, so that'll be cool.